Testing, testing. Hello. Hello, world. How's it going? It's Sahira here, logging in to tell you about my new drum solo intensive that's beginning next week. And I've gotten some questions, and I thought I would jump on and say hi, say happy Friday. Hope you're having a great day. And I wanted to spend some time answering questions and letting you know all about this fantastic drum solo intensive that I am just so excited about. I've had drum solos on the brain for like the last 2 months as I've been preparing for this intensive, and I've had the chance to talk to a lot of dancers about what they enjoy about drum solos, what they don't like about drum solos, what maybe scare or intimidate them about drum solos, and I am so excited to dive into this intensive and give people the opportunity to approach drum solos in a brand new way, whether you love them or are still trying to like wrap your brain around them. This will give you a way of approaching them that is empowering and gives you the tools to feel like you're truly creatively expressing yourself, right? Which is what this is all about. So, if you're catching me live, say hello. Let me know how you're doing, and let me test to make sure my connection here is working. Hello, hello. I see you there on YouTube. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. I'm going to check over here on Facebook to make sure that I am coming through loud and clear. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know where you're logging in from, and let me know what your favorite thing about drum solos are. What's your favorite thing about drum solos? Drum solos are one of the most exciting and like celebrated parts of the belly dance routine. I think because they're just so high energy. There's so much like smash, bang, pow. There's so much power behind them. I think it's really exciting as a dancer to perform them, and it's really exciting as an audience member to watch them too. I remember as a not even a baby belly dancer, before I started belly dancing, when I first saw belly dancing on a regular basis here in Houston 28 years ago, I would go to this great art house, and they would have a belly dance show on Tuesday nights. And my favorite number, now I know, like looking back at it, my favorite number was the drum solo. And this fabulous dancer came out and did a drum solo. And I think she always did the same drum solo, which I loved because I got to like kind of know it, and I got to enjoy it and sort of dive deeper into it each time she did it. I would like notice some nuance or something different. I thought it was so cool. And it was just so precise, and it was so exciting, but something that she did that was so captivating. And now I understand why it was so important and why it was so magical. She actually made it look really easy too. It never looked like she was rushing to keep up. It never looked like she didn't know what to do next. It never looked like she was desperately trying to hang on to the music. It never looked like she was layering 5 different moves on top of one another. It just looked like the sounds of the drum were emanating from her body, and it was freaking amazing. I don't know. Let me know in the chat if you've ever seen a drum solo like this, where like it just it just oozes out of the dancer, right? It looks effortless. And for those of you who have ever performed a drum solo, let me know in the chat if you've ever performed a drum solo. I can't even count how many drum solos I've performed in the last 26 years. It doesn't often feel like it's just effortlessly emanating from your body because it's challenging. It's high energy. There's a lot of work going on there. But here's the thing, like, yes, it's high energy. Yes, there's a lot of work. Yes, it's challenging. But for so many dancers, it feels rushed. It feels frantic. It feels like they can't keep up. It feels disconnected, right? It feels like you're just trying to get all the moves in the prescribed amount of time. If you have ever been there, I want you to know that you are totally not alone. I have been there too. It's been years. Like, luckily, I've kind of wrapped my brain around how to make this work. But if you've ever felt like, okay, here comes the drum solo, let me gear up and make sure I can do this, and it feels a little intimidating, I totally get it, right? And I think what this comes down to so often is, in classes, we are taught the steps, and that's important, right? Without the steps, if you're going to do a choreography without the steps, you don't have a drum solo, right? You don't have a dance. But we are never taught how to truly dance with the music. Do you know what I'm saying? Let me explain what I'm saying. Like, doing the steps and dancing the choreography are 2 completely different things. One is required to do the other. Like, you have to do the steps to dance the choreography. But I always tell my students, like, dancing the steps is like step 1. step one of it like 10, right? Like once you're dancing the steps, then we can have fun. And I think this is where it becomes more manageable, more creative, and more exciting to dive into your drum solo, because it's not just I will do the steps at the correct time. It becomes a I will express myself through these steps based on what I'm hearing in the music. So it's a slightly higher level concept, which is why this intensive is aimed for intermediate level dancers, right? I want the technique that's in the drum solo. And the drum solo is like an easy intermediate, like a low level intermediate drum solo. It's not too crazy. There's not crazy layers. There's not a lot of insane stuff going on, because the focus of this intensive is not the choreography, if that makes sense. The choreography is a means to an end. And that end is finding texture, nuance, confidence, and creativity inside your drum solo. And what I mean by this is you're going to learn how to contrast between strength and fluidity. How do you create these contrasts, right, that make a drum solo so dynamic? How can you use breath and timing to create tension and release? How can you respond to and move with the music instead of like feeling like you're chasing it, right? And you don't have to have a bunch of fancy moves. Like I said, this is like a low intermediate level choreography. You can turn the simplest of movements into really powerful moments. And in order to do that, you don't have to be like a professional performer. You just need to want more from your drum solos. So let's have a little bit of real talk here, and then I'm going to answer some questions, and I'm going to give you a free resource to get you started so you can get a taste of what's going on inside this intensive. When I ask dancers like what would help them with drum solos, like, what's their biggest sticking point? And if you have a sticking point that you're like, if I could only do this with drum solos, it would make so much more sense. Let me know. I'm curious what you say, because the answers are illuminating and a little confusing to me. I am often asked, I wish I could just learn a bunch of drum solo combinations that I could do to a variety of drum solos, or if I could learn all of the drum solo rhythms, then I could dance the drum solo better. And I don't agree with this, y'all. Like I think if learning a bunch of combos that you can just apply to drum solos means that you're going to be dancing to the tempo, right? Okay, so here, heady concept for a second. When we dance to music and we're dancing to the music is what creates our dance, right? We can dance to several things. And the most common are you can dance to the rhythm, right? You can dance to the rhythm, what the drummer is playing, right? You can dance to the melody, what the melody line is playing, what the singer is singing. In the case of a drum solo, there's usually no melody, right? Which makes it a little bit more challenging. You can dance, sometimes there's counter melodies. Maybe there's like a call and response going on in the music. So you have the main melody, and then you have something else that happens. You can dance to that counter melody. I say sometimes you can dance to the voices in your head. Have you ever danced to those? I've danced to those before. Or you can dance to the tempo. And this is, I think, the most basic kind of dancing that there is. It's not wrong, it's not bad, it's not incorrect, but it is the most basic kind of dancing. So what I mean by dancing to the tempo is you're dancing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When we make a combination, step, touch, step, touch, shoulder, shimmy, right? You could take that, you could slap that on a drum solo, right? And you could listen to the music and kind of texturize it to fit, right? There's a combo you can slap on a drum solo. Here's the thing, like if you are going to dance to the tempo, you can kind of do anything anywhere. Honestly, you can. I build these combos for my students in class, and we call them warm-up combos. And it's just usually 32 counts. I try to hit hips, shoulders, torso. We try to get a shimmy in there, a turn, right? So that we're like just warming up basic concepts for class. And then literally after we learn it to the song that like inspired it, we do it to like 20 other songs. I have them bring in songs. I'm like, bring in a song and we'll do it. And we practice texturizing the movements to what we're hearing. But like the combo usually works great on everything because we're just dancing to the beat. We're just dancing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that works, but that's like just to get us started, right? And then we want to listen to the rhythm. Then we want to listen to the melody. We want to play with that counter melody. And when we're talking about drum solos, because this is what we're talking about here, when we're talking about drum solos, it's all the rhythm, because that's what we've got. There's ebb and flow. There's movement within the drum solo, but it's all drums, y'all. It's all drums, right? So while I could give you a dozen combos to use for your next drum solo, it's a little generic and it won't necessarily match. You can put it on top, you can just smush it on top of the music, but it's not emanating from the music, if that makes sense. Yeah. So this is why in this choreography intensive, I'm not going to be like, here are 12 combos you can use for any drum solo. I'm teaching you a drum solo with the goal of performing it. You will have a performance opportunity. But the big goal is learning these in-depth texture concepts that take it from the moves to dance. Oh, I love this. Kalima, thank you for your comment. I wish your shimmies looked more relaxed during a drum solo, more fun and less forced. Oh, yeah. Big relaxed shimmies. That was my nemesis for about 12 years. It was so bad. For 12 years, I felt like a total belly dance imposter because my shimmies were like meh at best. And actually, if you haven't yet, I have a great free resource that is 5 shimmy tips for bigger, more relaxed, and more reliable shimmies. If you just go to, I'm glad you asked, sahirabellydances.com/shimmy tips. It's a free class. Go check it out. It's like a 35-minute class, I think, that will take you through several concepts that changed the game for me and finally made it so that, like, when it was time to shimmy, I wasn't like, oh God, here it comes. I hope it comes out this time, right? It turned my shimmies into something I could actually depend on instead of making them happen. So check that out, sahirabellydances.com/shimmy tips, and let me know if that's helpful for you, hopefully. Yeah. Because shimmies end up being a very big part of drum solos. And so we want those to feel natural, to feel like we're not forcing or working too hard, right? So this is really important, the concept of moving beyond the rhythm, moving beyond the moves, right? Oh my gosh, you're so right. I see your comment on, I'm going to call you equestrian, right? Because you've got a long name. Yes, I think this is huge for like us older women. This belly dance is phenomenal, right? To not only for like the continued movement and health impacts and strengthening and cardio, right? But just for like that creativity and that emotional outlet. I would say it's cheaper than therapy. I love it. I love it. So this drum solo intensive, let me talk about some questions. So the drum solo intensive begins on Monday. It is a 9-week drum solo intensive that will take you through, we'll learn the moves. Step 1, you'll learn the moves of this like intermediate level drum solo. Yeah. Nothing that's going to like cause you to backflip. You don't have to do anything crazy. There's no, splits or drops to the floor or anything. It's all very approachable because then I want to take it farther and we're going to talk about breath, theatricality, emotion. We're going to talk about push pull, ebb flow. We're going to talk about muscular versus skeletal movement. We're going to talk about all the texture and nuance that when you go see a dancer, you don't know what it is that they're doing, but you're like, that. And like when my dancers come up to me, my students, and I love them, they're like, I got it, but it just doesn't look like her. It doesn't look like you. It doesn't. And I'm like, well, number one, your dance is never going to look like someone else's. It shouldn't. And that's a good thing. But if it doesn't feel right, if you're like, I did all the moves, but it just doesn't feel right, I gotcha. I'm going to give you dozens of ways to make it feel like dancing, not like doing the steps. So the choreography intensive, people ask, when does this begin? The choreography intensive officially begins on Monday, right? Signups will close on Wednesday. Signups are open now, and I'll give you the link in just a second. It runs for 9 weeks, all the way through May 30th, and then you retain access to the entire thing for a year. But after the like live classes and the videos released to you, it's an online video course with companion live classes where we take it deeper and talk about all of this nuance and texture and, theatricality that takes it to the next level. Then there are 2 more weeks to practice before an optional showcase performance on June 13th. So there's a built-in performance so that you have that little fire lit under your butt in case you need it to keep moving, right? And then after the showcase, you can download the final walkthrough and the dance with music videos to keep forever and ever and ever. And then the course goes away in March of 2027. We have 4 live classes as part of the course, 4 1-hour long live classes that are held on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Central. And we are going to use that time to take it beyond the moves, because you don't need more moves. You have enough moves. We got moves. We got moves coming out the wazoo. It's about the emotion and the intention that you put behind the moves. And that is what we're going to be talking about. Yes. Oh, I love it. Yes, Barbara. Wonderful. Thank you for giving me a real name I could use. Fantastic. It is. It is. You're speaking my language. You totally understand. If you're curious, let me give you a link where you can check out the full intensive. So there we go. I'm going to say, so sahirabellydances.com/drum course. I'm going over to my people here on Facebook. This is where you can get more information about the class and see all that is involved, see all of the details. And I'm going to give you a link here on YouTube as well, so that you can check out the class. Here's the deal. If you've wanted to really play with drum solos, if you're ready to like do something more than just learn the moves, that this is a really great opportunity. If you'd like to check out a little taster, you're like, this could be cool, but I don't know, you're weird. Am I going to like it? Number one, there's a 14-day money back guarantee. So if you get in there and you're like, oh my gosh, this is totally not what I thought it was going to be, just reach out, no problem. Also there on the link I just posted, if you go partway down the page, there'll be a little snippet of the choreography that you're going to learn. So you're like, do I like the music? Like what's this like? Definitely check out that page, because you'll see a little bit of the choreography just to get an idea of the flavor of it. Do you jam to the music? Do you like the moves? Do you like the vibe of the choreography? But if you want to get a kind of a deeper look at the real work that we're doing, by the real work, I mean, not the moves, right? I'm talking about like the intention behind the moves, that which makes the moves magnetic. I'm going to give you one more link here. sahirabellydances.com/drum class. If you are there on Facebook, following me there, or here's a link for YouTube as well. You can check out this free class that is available right now, and it's only available for a few more days. This is a 1-hour long drum masterclass that teaches you like the ittiest bittiest, like tiny little combo, because it's not about the combo. It's not about the steps. It's not about the steps. It's about what you do with the steps. So check out that free class, and that'll give you a total insider look at like what we're going to be doing inside the intensive, and give you the opportunity to kind of wet your feet a little bit and give it a try. Yeah, I highly recommend that. Just sign up. You'll get instant access to that free class, and then you can dive in and see how it feels in your body. Yeah. A couple of other questions that were asked. When will the live classes be held? Oh, I mentioned there's 4 live classes. They are April 4th, April 18th, May 9th, and May 30th. Those are all Saturdays. Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. Central. All the classes are also recorded and added to the course as they happen as well. Someone had asked me, like, what level is this drum solo? I would put this as an intermediate level drum solo. If you are a new beginner dancer, it might be a little bit above the bandwidth you have for drum solos, because I don't want you to have to like learn a whole bunch of new moves to be able to do this. I don't want there to be like a whole bunch of vocabulary technique that's not in your body yet, because while you have the breakdown for all the technique. Like if you were an intrepid beginner and you're like, I want to do it, like bring it on, totally. Because inside the recorded content, you have breakdowns and builds of all the technique. So it's all there. It's all there for you. But what this intensive is much more about is taking it to the next level. It's not about like, how do you do a hip circle? It's about how do you add breath to that hip circle? How do you add muscular intention? How do you add sassy to that hip circle, right? We're going to be playing with that. How do you take it to a place where you feel like you are creating, you are being the drum. That's what we're going to be talking about. And so I would say intermediate level dancer. Advanced dancers can gain something from the high-end concepts of this course, right? The choreography is not super advanced, so you could learn it quickly and like augment it to fit your needs. But if you feel like there's more work to be done with finding that texture, finding that emotion, finding the ebb, the flow, the breath, the ease in drum solos. This is something that could totally be useful for you. Those were all the questions that I had. And so that's what I wanted to share with y'all. It's not about learning new moves. You do not need new moves. I promise you. The moves that you already have are great. What you need, because it's not about what you do, it's about how you do it. I think I really realized this when I was in Egypt back in 2005 at the Ahlan Masahlan festival. I was teaching there in 2005, and I had the opportunity to watch this male dancer. We called him the Prince of Luxor. He was not a prince. I don't even know if he was from Luxor, but he danced at the opening celebration, and he was wearing a galabeya and a hip scarf. And we all fell in love with him instantly. And after being mesmerized by him for like 10 minutes, and I was just like, just watching him, I realized like he was really doing like two moves. If I really dissected it down, like what's this guy doing? That's like driving us all crazy. We were going crazy. It was like two moves. But how he did it was so enticing, was so energizing. And he did it many different ways. Those hip drops, oh my gosh, I don't know. He probably did 5 different, variations on this hip drop, not technique wise, but like texture wise. And I could have watched him all freaking day long. I really could have. And I realized in that moment, like, it's not about gathering new moves or getting the latest and greatest, like layering bonanza, right? It's not about having 12 easy drum solo combinations that you can apply to any song. It's not like you know, one move and he freaking drove us mad. It was awesome. It was awesome. And so that is, I think, the biggest thing I want to empower you with, like no matter where you are in your dancing right now, you don't need new moves, better moves, faster shimmies to be a better dancer or to feel better when you're dancing, to be a better dancer. And what does that mean, right? To feel better, to feel like you're really actively creating when you dance. You just need to know how to use the moves you already know in a way that feels authentic and powerful. And that's what I would love to share with you inside this intensive. So if you have any questions, hello, Patricia. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out at any time. You can always find me online. You can DM me here in your platform of choice, or you can email me at contact@sahirabellydances.com. But like I mentioned, that free drum solo class is going away on Monday. So, you got the weekend. It's only like 55 minutes, right? So check that out now. And then definitely check out The Art of the Drum Solo from Steps to Stage Ready. You've got the link there inside the chat. And join me for this, because this is one of those things that will teach you more than just a drum solo. It's going to teach you more than just steps. It's all about going beyond the steps. And in all honesty, while this is all targeted for a drum solo, it is applicable to so much more. It's applicable to all of your dancing. So I would love to share that with you. I hope to see you on the dance floor there. Have a beautiful, fabulous, wonderful weekend. And yes, oh my gosh, yes, Barbara, it's not just the moves, right? Getting lost in it. And when you have that moment of flow, right? When you're in there and you're creating and you're able to get on stage and enjoy, that's everything. Yeah, that's everything. Thank you all so much for joining me here. It's been wonderful chatting with you. Have a beautiful weekend, and I will see you on the dance floor very soon. All right, bye for now.